So what's up with this Wargroove game, Dalsson?
Alright, so Wargroove is kind of an Advanced Wars or Fire Emblem style strategy game. You usually have a overworld with your hero unit and a fortress that you have to defend. So you have to keep both of them alive. If one of them dies, you lose the game.
It drives me crazy that you have the cursor over that character's face.
Yeah,
I can't handle
I'm
that.
glad. I'm sorry. But in any case, what it's about to go down here is a little tiny battle. It's not representative of the whole game, but it has a little bonus mission thing, which is another cool aspect of the game. Is a campaign mode that they have. You go through the main campaign. You're playing as that gal that I'm playing as, the Red Army there. And,
so she's the campaign.
She's the main campaign character, and she's on a quest to do something. It had been a while since I started the game, and I only recently picked it back up, so I kind of forgot what
You lost the through line on the story there.
Yeah, I lost the through line on the story, but I know that she's on a quest and adventuring around and stuff. We're fighting Florans currently in this forest from Starbound, which is a game chuckled by Publishfish. Published by Chucklefish.
How does, like, at least, like, you know, from all of the side stuff and that you remember, how does the story compare to, like, Chucklefish's, Starbound's, like, previous story?
Starbound's previous? See, I don't
like, when it finished.
I feel like Starbound barely had a story anyway.
Yeah, that was a little bit of the problem. It was essentially just, like, a bunch of missions that sent you to the next level of planets.
Here's probably a more apt question, is, like... How is the story compared to other Advance Wars or Fire Emblem games?
I don't know. I'd say that it's probably a little, like, not quite as good as Fire Emblem has a reputation for being, but...
Is it kind of generic? Is that, like, the problem?
No, it's not necessarily generic. It's just, like, Fire Emblem is pretty, like, that's one of the main reasons people play Fire Emblem is because of the writing and stuff, and I haven't really played enough to say definitively that it's not as good, but...
I gotcha.
Definitely better story than Advance Wars, which is, these countries are at war, and now you're at war. Congratulations.
Yeah,
it's
I never
like
played
I'm on
Advance
a quest
Wars,
to
but...
do something. I think, some guy came... Oh, I remember there was a character that I really liked named, Ragna or something.
Is that unit a dog?
Like, yes, that unit is a dog, actually.
Yeah,
that reminds me about the... Yeah, get him. That reminds me about critical hits, actually. That's one of the main mechanics in this game, is the way that you position your units is incredibly important, because a lot of them have particular critical hits. Like this dog, critical hits when another dog unit is adjacent to the target. So if you look at the map there, I have the two dogs standing adjacent. That makes them deal a lot more damage.
That's interesting.
They also have, like, a kind of type effectiveness against each type of unit. So if you right-click on each of your units, you can see, like, a real interesting, like, type effectiveness screen.
Is it sort of like a like rock paper scissors kind of triangle, or is there more to it than that?
No, not exactly. There's more to it than that. Some units just have no weakness and they're good against fucking everything. But because of the resource management aspects, you have to pay, like, 3 times as much as you would for, like, any other unit.
Okay, that's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, so like, you know, you can get units that just fuck on people, but you're gonna be out of money for a while.
Right. Are all of the maps this small, or is it just this, like, side mission?
No, it's just this side mission ones. Like I was saying, this side mission one is just kind of a little combat that provides you with units. And there was no fortress to defend or anything. I think the story of what's going on here is, once we've gotten through the Floran forest and they're like, oh yeah, you're actually cool, I'm sparring with one of them while we, like, visit the village and kind of go through.
Okay.
This one, the king of the Florans, is mad at Sedge because he said that we were invading, when we said specifically to him, Sedge, the little sickle dude, we said specifically to him, hey, we're just passing through, we don't want any trouble, and then he ran and told the king that we were invading, so...
Seems like a good guy.
Yeah, so now the king is banishing him, and this is a kind of side mission where I'm getting to play as the king and play out that battle, which I really like. The side mission actually is how you unlock each of these characters in arcade mode as well, which arcade mode is just a bunch of randomly generated combats in a row, but it's still pretty cool.
But you just took over that fort. You said that there was resource management stuff?
Yeah, so I just took over that fort on screen there. That was actually like a fortress or a stronghold. I forget what they call them in the game, but it is what you buy units at. Like that's what I'm doing right now. So since I have 2 of them, I can make 2 units per turn, and then that's actually capped off by the amount of gold I'm getting, which are those little houses or village structures that he's capturing one right now, as a matter of fact. Kind of early on, I was spamming like basic bitch units until I could capture more of those strongholds, build up to the stronger units. You know, like you can see he has a trebuchet, which he's built up a little bit faster than me.
Okay.
Yeah, and here I'm using one of my the titular Wargroove.
Titular Wargroove.
A hero unit has a special ability where they it's all kinds of random stuff. Like this guy, for example, makes that big wall. It's impassable, but you can attack the vines to get through them. It just takes a lot of damage. I think the main lady that you go through the campaign as does like an area of effect heal all of her units around her to max health. So if you group up, like each character's play style will be different. Like here I can just ignore one lane and focus really hard on the top part of it. But if I were playing as the other lady, I would want to group everybody together and heal them up when they started to take damage.
Are the main named units the only ones that have Wargrooves, or do you get multiple like characters?
No, the main named units are the only ones that have Wargrooves. And I believe in multiplayer matches in arcade mode, you'll only ever have one hero. But I already have played a campaign where I've had multiple heroes at the same time. So in campaign missions, it's possible, but I think usually you're just bound to one hero.
Okay.
And you haven't tried any of the multiplayer?
No, I haven't tried the multiplayer yet at all, but I assume it's pretty much similar to this. I kind of want to get further in the campaign so that I can learn. Like, one of the things the campaign does is slowly unlock units for you and teach them their uses. So I want to go through that before I actually jump into the multiplayer and just get overwhelmed with units.
Right, I gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, I don't typically go for multiplayer games like this. Like, I didn't play any in Into the Breach just because
I didn't even know there was multiplayer.
That doesn't appeal to me very much. Yeah, is there? Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, whatever the case, like, strategy games, I tend not to be that interested in playing multiplayer anyway, so, you know.
Right.
Right. But yeah, Wargroove is really fun. Oh, another thing that I wanted to talk about real quick is you may have noticed going back and forth between each character's turn, they have a little kind of background theme that plays. All of those themes are really fun and thematic for their characters. It's just really interesting to kind of go between the turns. Or if you're like me and you like to tab out, you can be like, oh, the good guy music is playing, it's my turn again.
Oh yeah, that's always nice.
Yeah. Now, like I said before, the goal ultimately is to kill the hero unit or the little stronghold. Now, of course, they look different depending on what army you're using, but the ones in this match both look like those little tree houses. I think that's how I wind up winning the game. I get a bunch of trebuchets over there and no, fuck on them.
Yeah, so is there always parity between units, or?
So far it seems so. Like, all of these units are pretty much identical to the units that the humans have. Maybe it's possible that there are some unique units, but I'm not sure. Like, there's that giant tree dude, which is like a forest guardian. Right. I could see them having, like, a magic golem on the human side, but I haven't seen the human side. This is the first time they introduced that unit in the campaign, so...
I dig the art style.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, pretty nifty. It honestly, it looks a lot like Starbound.
Yeah, like a lot of the sort of cutscene sprites and all look very similar, and I'm really happy about that.
This is gonna sound crazy, but it looks like a cross between Starbound and Advance Wars.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. And honestly, like...
You never would have guessed that.
Is it, like, I know it's published by Chucklefish, but is it made by the same people who made Starbound, or,
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I don't actually
am not
know.
positive.
It would make sense. I mean, I'm sure it takes place in the Starbound universe. They have pretty in-depth lore for all of the races and stuff.
I think that it's probably like, I think after Starbound, Chucklefuck kind of grew a lot bigger, and lost one particular ape. But aside from that, I think it's like the guys who are there, but also some new guys.
Well, Chucklefish publish a bunch of stuff.
That too.
They are publishers first. I think. I don't think that the same. I mean, this one I think maybe was made by the Starbound people, but like I don't think
this one. I mean,
most Chucklefish games aren't. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing that you can do that's really nice. I just saw myself do it on the screen. At so each of your structures, your buildings that you have, will regenerate 1 health per turn. You can pay gold to heal your units back to full health, but it takes away from the structures thing. So you can see up my front buildings kind of have like 3 and 1 health, but that's okay because I had people surrounding them. They're not going to take it back. Sometimes you even have to pull a unit all the way back to your back line so that they can heal up, because it's always like to heal a unit from 1 to full health is less than half of what it costs to build a new one, so it's worth it to pull them back and put them back forward.
Right, that makes sense.
You're not, so it adds another level of strategy. You're not kind of just spamming units and pushing them forward until they die, you know?
Unless you are.
Which I so often do.
Legitimate strategy.
Yeah, so, and the critical hit system I think is really interesting. You can see here I'm fumbling around with pathing on that guy. Well, the mounted units only critical hit if they travel their full movement speed before attacking. So that's why I was trying to like path him in a different direction.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I noticed earlier you moved slower over mountains. Do you move faster on roads?
You do move faster on roads. In fact, knights can only travel on roads. So,
okay.
Or roads and fields, I suppose. Yeah, you gain, I think, like 1 bonus movement on roads, and moving across forest tiles costs 2.
Yeah, that was a big thing in like Fire Emblem. You would move slower over, like through forests or whatever, or infantry could move through forests, but other characters couldn't, like cavalry can't.
Cavalry, I think, gets stopped instantly by forests, so you can move 1 through each turn.
Well, in Fire Emblem, you just can't, but yeah.
Yeah. I have a trebuchet coming later on. Trebuchets can only move on roads.
Okay,
so,
well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So there's different units, you know, and like, mountains stop all units' movement instantly, so it doesn't matter how fast you go. Except I think dogs can travel over mountains. In fact, dogs, Here's another mechanic that I had in the previous game, but it's not in this map for some reason. Some maps have Fog of War. You can put units on top of mountains, and that will increase their sight radius, and I believe increases their attack range as well for ranged units.
Trebuchet. Get out of here.
Yeah, I know.
Get out of here.
I know. They're Florans. What do you want? Dirty, thinking Florans.
Florans and their puns. Disgusting.
I didn't think they were smart enough to make puns. But here we are.
These Florans are actually rather smart, as opposed to the Florans. So, like, Sedge, the dude I'm fighting right now, is like the crazy, bloodthirsty, I want to kill and murder fight everybody Floran, but the king that I'm playing as is like an old, wise forest man king, like you would expect tree people to be.
Maybe it's just, like, contextual. Like, in the context of a giant space war, they seem like crazy murder people. But in this fantasy
they're like
thing,
crazy. Yeah, they're like crazy tribesmen. But in the context of this world, they're like
they're the wise elder men that they were making a joke about. So usually we see like all of the tree people as the wise, like don't hurt the forest people. But we decided to make the monsters instead.
Except Sedge is a monster, so I think this takes place before. Like, far before Starbound. They certainly haven't thought of space travel, and I'm pretty sure Florans have space travel in Starbound.
Well, that other one mentioned blasters.
So what you're telling me is this is the prequel to Starbound, where these crazy Florans kill everything else on their planet.
Oh god, yeah, that might be it.
So then obviously there's only Florans, right? Like, there's not any other, like, Starbound races? It's like humans and Florans, or is there other races?
Florans are all I've seen so far, but like I said, I'm in Act 3. In, like, Act 1, I fought a other humans. In Act 2, I fought other Florans, and in Act 3, I am a Floran fighting a Floran. This is a bonus round. I haven't actually played the campaign Act 3 yet, so.
I gotcha.
Right.
Oh, and there are undead. Undead was another race that I fought, and there was an undead person who was like, I love that character. I think her name was Ragna. She was getting real pissed off at absolutely everything that happened ever. Like, she's lost, and she was like, "No, I didn't lose. You lost. Actually, I didn't lose. Fuck you." And then she tried to fight me again.
It is all medieval based, though, right?
Yeah, it is medieval based. Yes.
Okay.
Hence, like trebuchets and stuff.
So, you told me earlier, like off camera, that this game has a level editor, right?
Ah, yes, I did almost forget about that. There is a level editor, so you can make your own maps, like, from the ground up. I played with it a little bit. I didn't actually make anything, but I played with it to see what the options were. You can, like, you just start out with a flat plane, and you can make mountains and water, bridges, anything wherever you want, right?
Okay.
Fucking make a map where you have a million things on your side, and they have one spawner. It doesn't matter. You can make anything. They also have a campaign editor, so like the story mode that I'm playing through right now, you could create a full campaign around that. I believe it needs to use the assets within the game, so I don't think they have modding support for things like adding
new races or whatever.
New races or new sprites, but you can basically create your own story with these characters, like, you know, the little sprite diorama theater and everything.
Does it let you? Yeah, and it lets you like put in story and whatever.
Customize what they're saying and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
cool.
and then of course you have to make a series of maps to go with the campaign, but yeah, it seems like a really in-depth level of editor. I like it when they do shit like that. Like Heroes of Might and Magic has always had that as a standard, and it's great for it because the custom maps are always the most fun.
Right.
Custom maps in anything are always the most fun. Some of my most fond memories are of like StarCraft custom maps, you know.
Yeah, but it depends on how much like how much they give you to work with. If all you can really do is make levels and then link them together in stories, then that's not as much as some of the stuff you could get away with StarCraft, but
Yeah.
Does it have workshop support, or is it through its own thing?
I don't believe it has workshop support. It has its own client within the game. I could be wrong about that, though, so I'm not 100% sure. But it definitely has its own client within the game. It just, you click on custom content, and you can just browse everything everybody's uploaded.
Okay.
I think they even have, like, a featured, like, content of the week kind of deal, too, so it's pretty nifty.
That's always
thing.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like content of the week stuff. Like, it keeps it fresh. It gives you direction instead of looking at the whole store, like the whole mod area, and just being like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's good. I just don't care enough to like engage with this, which is what happens to me a lot of the time when I'm looking at mod support.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, is there anything else before we head out?
No, I think that's my final thoughts. I want to say, though, that I absolutely whooped this guy. I demolish his fort with trebuchets. So
Yeah, that's important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have to know that.
Yeah. See, I'm already, even at this point in the video, I'm already fucking him up. So I'm good at this game.
Yeah.
Anybody wants, you can 1v1 me.
All right, cool. Well, this was Wargroove. That's it for us this time, and remember, as always,
Of course, stay beautiful.